What is up, guys? Yandere Neko here, and we are watching Death Battle, Naruto vs. Ichigo. This is going to be a bit of a reaction commentary thing. Big fan of Death Battle, so I've seen basically all of them. I just want to see how this has aged, more or less. Let's begin. Hope the volume's good.
The Holy Shonen
Been out of it for a while.
The Big Three.
So,
Any longtime reader of Shonen Jump will recognize
I'll have to
these,
see
some
this
of the
all
biggest
later.
titles in manga and anime history.
And it's time for two of those
Now,
shonen heroes to throw
admittedly,
down.
I
Naruto
grew up
Uzumaki,
with the
Ninja
big
Prodigy
three.
of the Hidden Leaf.
Naruto's what got me into anime, and recently I've been reading through Bleach. And honestly, out of all the big three, I'd argue
And
Bleach
Ichigo
was the best
Kurosaki, the
written, so
enormously
it's
powerful soul
a
reaper
shame
from
how
Bleach.
much
He swears
hatred
nine
sort of
boomsticks.
got back
And
into
it's
the
our
game
job to
because
analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win
I
a
want to
death
be like
battle.
one of the better ones. Okay,
Konoha,
let's
the
get into
village
the
hidden in the leaves,
analysis.
is a pretty quiet town.
Not what I'd expect for a city full of ninja. Still, there was at least one troublemaker among the bunch. The number one knucklehead ninja, Naruto Uzumaki.
Yep.
I'm home, everyone! Naruto Uzumaki has returned to the Hidden Leaf Village!
Orphaned at a young age and ostracized by his peers, Naruto may have been mischievous,
swing!
but he had
It's
great
the swing!
aspirations. His goal was to become the town's Hokage.
Which is a fancy word for ninja governor.
No,
The only
my
way
goal's to
Naruto
be a
could reach such a
Hokage too,
prestigious
but,
position was to excel in ninja school.
Like Ninja Harry Potter. Though he should really find a place that'll teach him not to dress like a clown and run like a real human being. What does he think he is, an airplane?
Actually, his posture likely decreases wind resistance, which could be beneficial when moving at superhuman
I
speeds where
forgot
angular
they
momentum
were
is a
trying to
smaller factor.
justify the Naruto
I
one.
remember when you ran like that in middle school.
Like, I do
Hey,
it
that
for
was
the
for
memes
research.
I
Sure
know,
whiz.
but
Anyway, while
It's a
Naruto
goofy
wasn't the best
one.
student, he still tried his hardest to reach his goal. But first, he'd have to learn how to control his chakra.
In Buddhism and Hinduism ideologies, chakras are, in simplistic terms, gates within the human body which can be opened to achieve enlightenment. But the ninja in
Chakra
Naruto's world
stones.
had a slightly different interpretation.
Oil Magnet.
I'll say, they weaponized it. Naruto can use chakra for all sorts of flashy attacks. He can heal himself, seal monsters away, walk up walls, or even stand on water like a ninja Jesus.
He's learned a number of chakra techniques, or jutsus,
Gesundheit.
and even developed a few new ones of his
Oh
own.
gosh, not the cringy. I can't
His
believe
signature
Naruto
move
wanna
is the
fight
Shadow
that
Clone
way.
Jutsu.
Where he can copy and paste himself over and
So
over
fair,
and over
the
again.
analysis
Unlike the
actually
standard
seems to
clone
hold up
technique,
all
Shadow
right.
Clones are tangible with their own combat capabilities. By dividing his chakra between himself and his clones, it's nearly impossible to distinguish the real Naruto from the fakes.
And he can get pretty tricky when he makes thousands of them. But when strategies can't save the day, he can always just beat his opponents down with the Rasengan.
By spinning
Most
chakra in his
limited
hand,
arsenal in
Naruto
all
creates a
of
compact
anime.
ball of energy which can blast through solid stone. While the
I mean,
Rasengan usually
that's a
takes
bit
years
unfair,
to learn, Naruto
because
figured it out
most
after training
shonen
for just over a week.
protagonists end up
He's
being some
invented more
type of
Rasengans than
Walder
Willy Wonka's
swordsman,
invented
but
candies. But his tough
I'll
pick is
honestly
the
use the
Rasen
meme
Shuriken.
how,
By combining the
for all
Rasengan
these
with the element
impressive,
of wit,
like, powers and abilities that mangakas make, they always make the hero, like, either a brawler or a swordsman. It's always been a pet peeve of mine. Although I guess it's for, like, to create tension.
and he uses it to turn the spinning ball into a spinning blade. This baby can trap you in a vortex of wind so sharp, it'll mess you up at a cellular level.
Naruto has plenty of other techniques up his orange sleeves, including summoning, substitution, and
Still
transformation
disappointed
jutsus.
they never
He can even
had a
transform
game
into
of Buta.
a naked woman.
Yes, the sex
Looks
jutsu.
like he's been studying. I guess
Everyone's favorite jutsu. Don't look at Puin, kids, it messes up your brain. That's the end of my PSA.
that's one plus side to not having parents. You don't need to worry about anyone walking in on you.
While most individuals
Can't wait
have
for this to
chakra,
be like
everyone has a
copyright
limit.
strike.
The more physical and spiritual energy one possesses, the more chakra they'll have at their
through
disposal.
this.
Just like the gas tank from a chainsaw.
Thanks to his heritage, Naruto already has a great deal of chakra. Even still, he has far more than he reasonably should, all thanks to the beast within.
Yeah, he's got a monster in his stomach.
Let's backtrack a few years. On the day of Naruto's birth, his village was attacked by a chakra beast known as the Nine-Tailed Fox. A monster so destructive, a mere swing of its tails could level a mountain. In desperation, the Hokage at the time sacrificed himself to split the Nine Tails in two, sealing one half within his own son, Naruto.
So his first ever birthday gift to his son was a giant pet fox that can destroy cities? I wish he was my dad.
Eventually,
before
Naruto
the
discovered how to
boomstick
communicate
dad
with the
joke
Nine Tails.
became
They didn't
old,
get
you
along
know?
at first. Foxy would threaten to eat Naruto. Naruto would whack him over the head with a big shrine gate. You know, typical roommate drama.
For season
Still, they
3
eventually
episode,
became
this
friends,
wasn't
and
actually
Naruto
all
learned
too
the fox's
bad.
name was Kurama.
Afterward, Kurama willingly shared
As
his
if I
chakra with
remember
Naruto on a
correctly.
regular basis. And as a being composed of chakra, Kurama's reserves are gigantic.
With so much power at his fingertips, Naruto can enter a bunch of different super forms. First up is Sage Mode, which sounds like something he'd learned from an old wise man or wizard, right? Nope, he learned it from a frog.
This state increases all of Naruto's physical abilities. Furthermore, Sage Mode allows Naruto to perceive the entire area around him and tap into naturally occurring energy via Senjutsu.
He can enhance his chakra
Yeah,
attacks
Sage
by
Mode
adding
keeps
natural
you
energy,
balls
but if
fight.
he's not careful, he'll turn into a frog. No, I'm not kidding.
With Kurama's chakra, Naruto can enter multiple tailed beast forms, which drastically increases physical prowess and energy output.
Best of which is the Nine Tails Chakra Mode. Flame on! It got even better when he befriended Mr. Fox, upgrading to the stronger, faster, tougher Kurama Chakra Mode.
Chakra Mode grants Naruto extra protection, a sense for negative emotions, and the ability to create additional chakra arms.
Whoa, that's a lot of hands. Gotta wonder what kind of things he does with those, right?
Overwhelming attacks, extra maneuverability, creating Rasen shurikens, the works.
Yeah, that's not what I was. Creepy tiny hand.
Yeah,
He can also shroud himself in a nine-tailed
definitely one of the
sized
weaker
avatar and use Kurama's
parts
ultimate
of the
attack,
script.
the Tailed Beast Bomb. So
he
destructive it
creates
can level a
tiny
mountain
hands.
range.
And for his final form, it's spoiler time. Pay attention.
The worst twist in all the
All of
shonen.
this chakra stuff started
That
with an
just
alien named
nuked
Kaguya,
the world
who ate a fruit,
building.
which basically
And I
created
mean
chakra.
nuked
Later,
it.
she got all murder happy, so her son stopped her. One of these sons, the Sage
Like,
of Six Paths, had his own
was
son
anyone
named
actually happy
Ashura,
with the
and
Kaguya
Naruto is
twist?
a reincarnation of him. So yeah, Naruto's kind of an alien.
Through this connection, Naruto was gifted the most divine form of energy, Six Paths Chakra. With it, he can enter Six Paths Sage Mode.
His strength gets boosted even more. He can fly, and he can use truth-seeking balls, which are orbs of chakra that can transform into weapons and destroy anything they touch.
He can combine all these forms and further add natural energy to his Kurama avatar to form Six Paths Ashura Kurama Sage Mode. Whew.
Good God, that's a confusing amount of forms. Anyway, Naruto is also an expert in hand-to-hand combat and could run faster than the eye could see when he was just 12 years old.
He's dodged a lightning speed punch from the fourth Raikage, a feat considered comparable to his father, who could teleport.
He even dodged this light-speed loogie.
According to the fourth data book, this Light Fang attack does indeed move at light speed, over 670 million miles per hour.
He's tough enough to survive getting
Hey,
stabbed, have
Boruto!
his soul ripped out, or get
Did not
smacked in the face
expect
with a
a
beam that can
Boruto
slice the
cameo.
frickin' moon apart.
Well, correction, Kaguya wasn't the worst twist in all of,
He's fought multiple tailed beasts at
anime.
once.
It was
lift
the
a statue
Boruto
weighing several
sequel
hundred
that
tons,
everyone hated.
survived a fall from the clouds, gone toe-to-toe with invisible limbo shadows, and pulverized 6 falling meteorites simultaneously. His chakra is so tough, he can power through Amaterasu, a fire jutsu with flames so strong they burn other flames.
He could even make new eyeballs for blind people. What's up with that? Oh, and in his final fight with rival and possibly closet boyfriend Sasuke, their opposing
gosh.
power was so great they obliterated miles upon miles of land, changing the weather and disintegrating a lake.
Only then, After defeating Sasuke, saving the world from Kaguya, and reuniting the
Hey,
split halves of
Sasuke actually
Kurama,
did a
Naruto
thing.
finally achieved his dream and became Hokage.
But he's still pretty dumb. I mean, he named his son Burrito.
Boruto.
Yeah, close enough.
I'm not gonna run away. I never
Oh,
go
back
on
when they
my
also
word.
had ending
That's my
clips
ninja.
too.
My ninja way.
It's actually pretty nice. It holds up about as much as I remember.
Shinigami. It may sound like a foreign word to some, but you all know what it is.
Now I can
The
see how accurately they get the Bleach analysis because it's the most fresh in my memory.
God. The
And I
Grim
don't
Reaper.
mean scaling wise, I mean more so story and stuff. I'm not a nerd, I don't do that math stuff.
of Souls.
And a 17-year-old ginger with a badass sword.
Ichigo Kurosaki seemed like a pretty normal kid
Technically
growing
he's
up,
just
doing well in
Japanese,
school
but
and
has
learning martial
blonde
arts from
hair.
his father.
Don't think
Except
he's
there was
actually
one
ginger.
little oddity. He could see ghosts.
Oh, it's like the kid
Well,
from the
I
Sixth
guess
Sense.
he's ginger.
See dead people.
One day, when he was 9 years old and walking home with his mother, young
Dang it,
Ichigo
he's
noticed
taller
what he
than
thought was
you.
a girl about to fall
Both
into a river.
IRL and
So
my mom.
naturally, he ran over to rescue her like the brave little kid he was.
Except it wasn't really a girl at all. It was a hollow. A monster
No.
spawned from an abandoned
Kinda
human
wanna
soul.
own one of those,
and it promptly killed his mother.
Like kimonos they have at some
Reminds me
point.
of how I
Thickly
lost
cool.
my poor mama boomstick. She always hated that ghost in the barn.
Right. Well, Ichigo remained ignorant of the truth until years later, when he met a woman named Rukia, who held the illustrious job title of Shinigami, or Soul Reaper, a guardian of the dead who keeps balance in the universe by helping those who have passed move on to the afterlife. Otherwise, they'd turn into violent hollows.
And if you show up late to work and it doesn't work out, the Soul Reaper can always cut hollows down with their awesome swords, like samurai ghostbusters. Anyway, the two of them got
That's
into a bind,
one
and
way to
Rukia had to
explain
share
it.
some of her power
Samurai
with Ichigo. Turns out he was a
ghostbusters.
surprise Soul
That's-
Reaper all along. Convenient.
When accessing his Shinigami power, Ichigo leaves his physical body for a new one made up of Reishi, or spiritual matter, which makes him invisible to anyone in the living world, despite still being physically present.
And his new powers make him super deadly. He can move with blinding speed, cut through giant monsters with ease, survive being punched through whole city blocks, and even fly through the air.
It's more accurate to say he walks through the air, using naturally occurring reishi as footholds.
But let's get to the dicey part of his getup. That awesome sword. It's a Zanpakuto, a blade connected to its owner's soul. It may look like an oversized steak knife, but it's a Soul Reaper's best friend.
Every Shinigami possesses a Zanpakuto spirit within themselves, which manifests as their sword. Ichigo's is called Zangetsu. Well, both of them are.
Oh, here we go. Strap in, because this shit's about to get crazy.
Ichigo actually has two different
It's
Zanpakuto
honestly
spirits
not
drawn
too
from his weird and
complicated,
confusing
like-
heritage.
Alright, so long story short, Ichigo's a Soul Reaper because his dad is too. But he's also part Quincy, which is a human with Reishi powers, because
Not-
that's what his mom
see it,
was.
not awful.
But he's also part Hollow, because his mom was possessed by a Hollow called White, and White got passed on to him when he was born. Oh, and he's also part Fullbringer, but nobody cares about Fullbringer.
Okay.
One of Ichigo's
Now,
inner
I know the Fullbringer gets a lot of hate. Honestly, it's pretty mid. Like, not worth the hate, but it's also not like the hidden gem the defenders think it is. But it's also like a very short arc, so either way, it's not like it's a big time commitment. My only issue with the Fullbringer abilities is they sort of fall into like gimmick tier. Also, I just think they're explained kind of poorly. Like, they come from hollow abilities, but they function more like Quincy abilities, but they're also mainly tied to like specific objects or items. The power system of Fullbring's a mess. But like, the arc itself isn't awful. It just wasn't terribly well written.
Spirits is a manifestation of his Quincy side inherited from his mother, while the other is a fusion of his Shinigami power and the Hollow. Unfortunately, Shinigami and Quincy go together like oil and water.
While trying to find a balance between these two sides, Ichigo learned plenty of neat techniques, like his bread and butter attack, the Getsuga Tensho.
Fun fact, in my youth, I both attempted a Rasengan and a Getsuga Tensho, and accomplished neither.
By concentrating his Reiatsu, or spiritual pressure, through his sword, Ichigo can launch a massive slashing attack.
Call it like it is, Wiz. It's a sword beam, and Ichigo can charge it up, fire from up close, or even blast two of them at once.
From his Quincy side, Ichigo has used Blut Vina, a temporary defense which grants inhuman durability. From his Shinigami training, he developed exceptional sword skills and learned Shunpo, or Flash Step, which greatly enhances his speed.
But there's one really big deal we haven't talked about yet.
Over the course of his career battling hollows and protecting his friends, Ichigo has attained many different superpowered forms, starting with the base Shinigami form, Shikai. Despite essentially being Ichigo's base, this form is strong enough to block an attack from the Sokyoku, said to have power equal to 1 million Zanpakuto.
The next step was Bankai. Normally it takes 10 years to reach this form, but Ichigo did it in just 2 days, like a boss.
When using Bankai, one's power can grow anywhere from 5 to 10 times greater. And according to the official databook, while in Bankai, Ichigo moves like lightning.
Wait, why does his sword shrink when he goes Bankai? Shouldn't it be bigger since he's stronger?
Technically, yes, but Ichigo
But
can
I'm not
control
gonna
its size to
comment
keep it
on
more
the
manageable.
lighting
If
state.
Shinigami
If
couldn't
it's-
minimize their blades,
That
some would
gets,
have swords
even
the
though I
size
think
of
it's so
skyscrapers.
long,
Awesome!
it gets
Anyway,
too
the
hard to
hollow
scale,
inside wanted
and
a
that's,
piece of the action
I
too.
don't
So
feel like
Ichigo
getting
gained
that.
a new power boost with a swoopy hollow mask.
I mean, I'm pretty sure most people now believe the actual verdict is outdated and wrong, but, which, okay, I'm not gonna be one of those people that's like, oh, I don't care about the verdict as long as it's, like, good quality. Like, no, if the verdict's kind of wrong, that is in the back of my mind. Like, yeah, it's complicated, you know it when you see it. It's like, I'm not gonna, like, try to grandstand and say, I don't care if it's, like, accurate, as long as it's like, no, if it's inaccuracies do bother me, but that's a discussion for another time.
Strong enough to lift 5 iron pillars, each weighing nearly 100 tons.
Pillow
Though
level.
if he's not careful, the Hollow can take control of his body, sending him into a violent berserker state commonly referred to as Vastolorde. Despite the lack of consciousness, Vastolorde Ichigo could heal quickly and was strong enough to overcome Ukiura, who's powerful enough to nuke a city.
After some quality training with his dad, Ichigo got a sort of second Bankai, which most people call Dangai Ichigo.
Another thing that, I mean, I guess the analysis kind of explains it best, because so, I guess Ichigo's unique in that it's not just his sword that changes with Bankai, it's his clothes that are, like, tied to his sword. So it's a second, so in the sense that, like, his clothes also change and it's a second power-up, it's a second Bankai, but it's never really explicitly, like, called a second Bankai. It's weird, okay? I'm not saying Bleach is perfect, but I still do think it's unironically, like, the best written of the big three.
In this form, he
Oh
shattered
gosh, I'm only
mountains without
halfway
even
done
trying.
with the video.
He broke through the black coffin attack,
This is
which
gonna be a
distorts
long
time
video
and
if I don't
space,
edit
which
it.
sounds like a black hole. Right after that, he survived a shot so friggin' big, the explosion could be seen for miles.
By comparing this crater to those left by real-life bomb tests, I'd estimate the attack to have a maximum explosive yield of 814 kilotons of TNT. That's like Ichigo surviving 54 little boys to the face. No,
Okay,
I meant the bomb from
The little boy
1945,
joke
not
is
the- oh,
funny.
God.
I don't care what others think.
Well, try as
It's
those
funny.
little boys might, all it did to Ichigo was burn his arm, and he didn't even care. This guy isn't the type to give up.
For his ultimate attack, Dangai Ichigo literally becomes the Getsuga Tensho itself. I know that's confusing, but just roll with it.
Well,
to summon the incredibly powerful
attack against
Mugetsu.
Aizen,
Which busted up one of the
which
biggest
admittedly,
baddies in the whole series.
yeah,
But it also sacrificed
ending after
all of
the
Ichigo's
Iran arc
power.
would have been like a
That's
better
raw deal,
ending,
but
but
17 months later, he
and
managed
that's
to get them back
another
with full
story.
bringer powers, which enhanced his physical abilities. But then he lost those two.
It's worth noting that while in Fullbring Shikai, his normal sword swings were as strong as his old Getsuga Tensho.
But he still
actually,
didn't give
I'm
up.
pretty sure they were weaker than his normal Getsuga Tenshos. Like, not even scale-wise, but like literally lore-wise, they were. Okay, we'll get into that later.
After training with some top-tier Soul Reapers and eating some food which gave him Super Reiatsu, the moment came. In the most epic quenching of all time, an entire sea disintegrated to form his new true Shikai.
And now that it's
Complete
adapted
with
in the
not one,
anime,
but two
such
Zenjutsu swords.
cool
Finally
season
balancing
finale.
the Shinigami, the Hollow, and the Quincy
Excuse me, I
within,
need a
Ichigo
drink.
had reached his full potential. He tamed his Vastolorde form, merging it with his Quincy side.
Ah,
In this form,
gotta
he
stay
can combine
hydrated.
his Getsuga Tensho with one of the strongest Hollow attacks, the Grand Ray Sero.
He also made a trip that normally takes a week in only 9 hours and 15 minutes.
And last but not least, he achieved a brand new level of Bankai.
Which was immediately crushed by some old dude who planned to destroy the universe named Ewok? Ewok?
It's probably inspired by the Hebrew name for God, Yahweh, and the katakana ends with a sharp k sound, so Yowak?
wait, I can
Katakana
actually
ends with a
read
sharp-
katakana. Hold on, no Japanese. Yuhabak. Yuhabak. Like, Yuhabak. Yeah, Yuhabak. Huh? Yuhabak. That's Naruto. Yuhabaha. Yuhabaha.
K sound, so Yowak?
Yeah, what you gonna do? Well, we
You
can
a
assume
baha.
this Bankai works similar to his
That's
old
what
ones, increasing his
looks like
physical
me.
speed and strength along with his Reiatsu tenfold. Even without his Bankai, he's still cut Mustache Man to
So
shreds.
yeah,
And then he lived happily ever after. Until his kid became a Soul Reaper.
Yeah, what'd he name him? Ichigo?
What? No, it's Kazui.
wait a
I
minute.
might have got it mixed up with the other
cross
Enchilada
codes
Kid or whatever.
close
Swastika.
Now I'm Ichigo Kurosaki, substitute
Does
Soul Reaper.
Ichigo
I'm
ever
combining
die?
my powerful spirit energy with this
I
blade in
shouldn't
order to
make that
protect
joke.
my
That's
friends.
awful.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
But first, did you know that Naruto and Ichigo are named after food?
Yeah, rice
But
cake and
better
a
than
strawberry.
these-
Skipping
Here in
the
this-
ad. Oh, soundtrack's pretty fire. Not gonna lie. Like the weird self-pixelated, I forget what the art's called, but it's pretty nice.
Whoa, he's invisible!
You can't see
I
me.
forgot, there's a lot of shaky cam that honestly makes it, and weird, like, lens flares. That's the one thing that definitely aged the, worst.
Running, coward!
Naruto, keep moving. I'll direct you.
Fuck them trees.
Hell the heck?
Sing on broads.
I see you.
Okay, I always thought Believe It was cool. People hated it. Nah,
Bring it on!
it's cool. Y'all are just lame. And weird, blue, like, the saturation and the blue lines make it. I mean, that would stop me from fighting, but I'm a degenerate.
Yo, not bad, but I'm still gonna beat your ass. Give me a freaking break. Is that the best you can do?
Now, I did not know this at the time, but that is a reference to his fight with Aizen, which would have made it so cool if the video didn't come out the way it was. It came out. Because it's literally like before he goes, Mugetsu, is that the best you got? Mugetsu. Which should translate to, like, Moonless Night, I believe. Not as cool as Wolf Fang, like, Moon Piercer, but... And Moonless Night's still pretty cool. And proceed with Ichigo grabbing the Stick of Destiny. And
Screw you, bastard!
like, and a blast.
Phew! Who was that guy?
And fun fact about that blast, that actually like scales. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but apparently that actually scales to like what they gave as Naruto's max AP. I learned that from a video somewhere. Hey, and a reference to one of my favorite fights.
Damn, even
And
without his
a Naruto vs. Luffy tease that's never gonna happen because, well, hoping Evil Craig saves Death Battle, because, you know, Screw Attack sort of was his thing, but...
powers,
Okay,
Ichigo
on
never
to the
gave up.
conclusion.
What a badass.
Sorry, Bleach fans, I know you all really wanted to win, but unfortunately, this wasn't it.
Naruto had better training, a broader arsenal, and a better healing factor.
Oh, okay, broader arsenal is, like, one's a generic brawler, one's a generic swordsman, like, they're both not exactly... They don't have the largest bags. I guess better training for Naruto, because, you know, he went to ninja school since he was, like, a kid, so he's been at it longer. And Ichigo... he more so used training as a means to an end rather than for, like... Okay, some of the points are like, debatable,
Ichigo's
but...
invisible ghost
And
buddy
again, I'm
and
not talking about, like, scale... I guess it would be scale. Okay, I'm not talking about, like, the math of things, more so... the logistics of it all.
Shinigami may be invisible, but they're still present in the physical realm. and
Okay,
can be
now that is actually just... like, lore-wise, inaccurate.
touched by normal people.
No, in fact, they can only be touched by people with high spiritual pressure. But even that
They may
scene,
be invisible, but they're
like,
still
Ruki
present.
was actually surprised Chad could touch the hollow, because normal people aren't supposed to be able to touch spiritual beings.
in the physical realm and
So,
can be
like-
touched by normal.
He shouldn't be able to see the hollow form, nor he, like, no way that should, okay, no.
People. Kurama can locate.
I think that's different from the Viz translation, because I know for a fact that the Viz translation says, like, normal humans can't touch them.
individuals by simply sensing their emotions, and Naruto's even seen his own soul before.
And with Six Paths power, he could see and fight Madara's Limbo clones, even though they were on a totally separate plane of existence.
Also keep in mind that while Chakra and Reishi have fairly different uses, they both contain spiritual energy.
Let's talk speed. Naruto can dodge light speed attacks and can move
Although
faster
I
than
will
lightning.
argue
A
that
lightning
the
bolt's
boost
return stroke is
equalization
220 million
does
miles per
kinda
hour,
work
about 1/3 the speed of
for this
light.
one.
Ichigo has also displayed lightning fast speeds, and even greater.
Near the end of the series,
Oh.
Ichigo took a trip that should have taken 7 days, but instead took 9 hours and 15 minutes.
It's likely Kirigi here was referencing his accomplice's speed, like Ichibei, who can knock his foes 2,440 miles away and appear next to him in a second. Yuachi guy beat him by going twice as fast, so we'll use that as Ichibei's limit.
With that, we can get the trip's total distance and conclude Ichigo's top speed is 319 million miles per hour. That's massively hypersonic, but not quite light speed.
Okay, now that's... I said I wasn't gonna go into scaling, but pretty sure characters were like light speed since the Soul Society, because that literally that beam of light that causes characters to like flee. So look, I won't get into it.
There's a difference
This
between travel
video
speed and
is gonna be
reaction
long
speed, as
enough
Naruto's already shown.
my talking
Comparing them
and-
directly, Ichigo's best
Or
reaction
just the
should
view
clock in at
time.
around 970 million miles per hour, 40% faster than light speed and Naruto's reaction time. Alright, point for Ichigo.
Speed alone wasn't enough, though, especially since Naruto's Sage powers gave him superb field awareness, making it difficult for Ichigo to land a fatal blow.
If he could even land
Okay, the
something fatal at all.
analysis is
Ichigo has
all...
always had a tough time damaging foes who have stronger spiritual energy than him. With that said, let's compare his Ryatsu to Naruto's chakra.
Bad news is, across both of them, the only
Like, the analysis holds up. The fight itself, it's alright, a bit more blurry and oversaturated than I'd like, but
multiplier we know for sure is Ichigo's
It's still a
times 10
solid
Bankai.
episode, I'd
the
say,
times 10
I'm
is
not gonna
difficult
lie.
to achieve, but for Ichigo's sake, let's assume he gets the maximum possible boost from every transformation.
His other forms likely don't boost his stats this much. For example, when he used his Hollow Mask to barely overpower an Arrancar, the situation and its results were similar to his then comparable Shinigami friends releasing their limiters, which gave each of them a boost of ×5.
okay, now, using the... Guess the only issue with using this is they're still pulling, like, early Arrancar, like, early in the series, so... Like, they're not giving him, like, the best feats, really.
However, let's give the benefit of the doubt and apply the
Like, math aside and forgetting all that, it's like, if you're pulling from, like, the middle point of the series, you're kind of downplaying
maximum
him.
×10 increase to all of Ichigo's forms that clearly increase
Mood Summer.
potential, as well as stack them even though many forms were in separate unconnected power sets.
For the sake of argument, we're deliberately overestimating Ichigo's power. You'll see why.
So here's our formula, but where do we start? Okay, Bankai Ichigo with his Hollow Mask was on par with Ukiyora's first transformation, correct?
Well, nearly.
Ukiora states his new form can destroy the city of Las Noches in the hollow world of Hueco Mundo.
What's that, like Mexican hell?
Well, there is a wall.
Ha ha!
Las Noches is square in shape and takes 3 days to walk from one corner to a
I'm
gate
not
in the
gonna
center of the
come,
wall.
man.
So it has a total area of 200,000 square miles.
That's bigger than California, and destroying it in one go needs over 400,000 megatons of TNT.
If only I could
So,
destroy
plug that into the formula,
California in
and
one
there you
go
have
in
it.
my life.
Ichigo's Ryatsu is equal to over 440 billion megatons
Well,
of
he's
TNT.
traded out with Japan,
Thankfully,
you know.
Naruto's chakra level is much easier to figure out.
His chakra was once extracted and burst a hole through the hollow moon. He survived the explosion, and it was explicitly said that this was nearly all of his chakra.
Most of his chakra has been siphoned off.
By measuring the aftermath from both sides, we found the blast to equal at least 480 billion megatons of TNT.
I really hope the audience actually like good
don't
on
forget,
this.
we were deliberately overestimating him.
Also, this was base form Naruto, not including any
Just
increases
like, you
from
know,
additional
my commentary
modes,
and
which allowed
pausing
him
and
to
stuff, it's
block
gonna
an
be
attack
like,
that cut
what,
the moon in
40
half.
minutes?
A force that had to be over 27 trillion megatons.
35
This proves
or
Naruto
something.
can both output and survive a blast stronger than Ichigo is capable of.
If you're thinking, wait, Boomstick, Ichigo survived a black hole in a box. That move doesn't really work like a black hole.
Plus, the 814 kiloton Frager blast did hurt him immediately after, so it must have been weaker than that.
But Wiz, weren't Kaguya and you Waka Waka planet busters? Don't they scale to them?
Nope. Kaguya's planet-busting attack required chakra from nearly the entire Earth's population, not just her own. And while Yuok's power was pretty OP, he couldn't destroy the world through his own destructive capability. He only planned to manipulate the delicate balance between life and death by stopping the flow of souls. Like a plate spinning on a stick, if one side gets too heavy, the whole thing comes crashing down.
To sum it up, Ichigo had the speed, they both had the guts, and Naruto had the strength, durability, training, and abilities for days. Naruto sure got the shonen jump on Ichigo.
The winner is Naruto Uzumaki.
Okay, so if you liked my commentary, thought I had anything of value to say, please like, share, subscribe. If you think I'm full of myself, comment below. That helps the algorithm. Trying to get back into VTubing. Gonna do another death battle for Naruto character soon. Might get into streaming. Fair cry food. I'll see y'all next time.